Yes, in the previous class, we have seen the various attributes of the population, like population size, population density, right, sex ratio, age distribution, all these things we have studied. See, population density means we have roughly, population density will be roughly population size, but population size cannot be always population density. This also we have understood in the previous class, and that is why in most cases we consider the population density as the relative density, right, approximate or relative density, right. So after understanding these things, so we also see, by observing all these things, we have understood one thing very clearly, that the size of the population will not be constant. It keeps changing. It may either increase or it decreases. So increase or decrease in the size of the population. So when I say the population density, it may matter with the size, or we may also be talking about the, what is that, the biomass. Right, we had considered the example of the banyan tree and the parthenium, right. So it may be biomass or the number. When we talk about the population size, it may either increase or it will decrease depending upon a few factors. So it is quite obvious to understand what factors may be responsible for the increase or decrease in the population size. The availability of the nutrition or the food, right? Then predation pressure. This will be always there for each and every organism in any habitat for that matter, right? Predation means what? So predating the other organisms, attacking on a particular organism, so which may be feeding upon that. Predation pressure, and also adverse weather conditions. Right. So we have also come across various abiotic environmental conditions, abiotic factors, which may go adverse at certain cases. Right. So these are the three parameters. These are the three factors which largely affect the population. That means the fate of the population, whether it grows or it diminishes, will be depending largely upon these three parameters. Now, when we talk about the population growth, there are four basic processes that we see in the population, in the large process of population growth. For any population for that matter, there are four processes which are natality, mortality, and the other two are immigration and emigration. So, see, of course, these are the factors which influence on the process of population growth. But which are the main processes, which are the main activities that are taking place in order to cause this growth of population are these: natality, mortality are two. Natality refers to what? It is nothing but the birth rate, right? It refers to the number of births during a particular time, during a given period at a particular habitat. Right? So that is what is called natality, and mortality is the death rate. It is the number of deaths in a particular population during a given period of time. Right? So obviously natality will add up to the size of the population. It will add more and more individuals to the population. So size of the population grows here, right? Whereas mortality will obviously decrease the size of the population. And the other two, as I told you, immigration is the number of individuals. See, migration we have studied. Migration means what? Organisms moving from one habitat to another habitat, or one geographical area to another geographical area, especially when they experience adverse environmental conditions or unfavorable environmental conditions. There are two kinds of migration when we talk about migration with respect to one particular habitat. If you are talking with respect to one habitat, then if some organisms come from a different habitat to this particular region, ಬೇರೆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆ ರೀಜನ್ ಇಂದ ಬೇರೆ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಟ್ ನಿಂದ ಈ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಟ್ಗೆ ಮೈಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಟ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ರೆಫರ್ ಟು ಆಸ್ ಇಮ್ಮಿಗ್ರೇಷನ್. It is nothing but the number of individuals of the same species. Yes, this is also one of the most important thing to be noted. So you are talking about a particular species. See, all these things we are talking about population. Whenever we say population, always one thing to be bearing in your mind is, so you are talking about one particular species, and that is what will make a population. Right? So that is the number of individuals of the same species that have come into this habitat from a different geographical area or from a different habitat from elsewhere during a given period of time. So that is what is called immigration. And obviously what it does with respect to that habitat wherein the movement is taking place from elsewhere. ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಈ habitat ಗೆ movement ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. They are moving into this habitat. Obviously, this causes the population size to increase in that habitat where immigration is happening. The other type here we talk about is emigration. Emigration means, so it is the other way. So organisms or species belonging to a particular population, they move out from this habitat to somewhere else, right? Obviously it results in what? It results in the reduction of this number of the organisms, or population size decreases because of this process. So immigration and emigration, right? So these four factors, which are those? See, natality, mortality and immigration, emigration are four main processes which actually decide the fate of the population, whether it grows or diminishes. Andre number of individuals ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಬೇಕಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಬೇಕಾ ಅನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು, so mainly depends upon these four processes here, right? So the increase or decrease in the population density largely depends upon the birth and death rates. But special cases nalli, especially when we talk about the different types of responses shown by the living organisms to abiotic factors, migrate anta ನಾವು ಏನು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಥವಾ suspension ಅಂತ ಏನು ತಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, those organisms which cannot regulate or conform, they will depend upon either migration or suspension of the activities. So in such cases, especially the migration activity, that is immigration and emigration, also becomes one of the important processes which influences greatly on what? The population growth. Now, see, when we look at this diagram, so it explains us everything. The things which we studied till now in the last slide, this gives the explanation of the same. See, population density, if you consider population density as n in a given habitat, then natality, that is the birth rate, natality na navilli b inda denote ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. So this is going to add up, that means plus sign ತೋರಿಸಿರೋ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, that is the number of the individuals in this population is increasing because of the birth, obviously, right? So, and mortality, the death causes the what is that, lessening or removal of the individuals from that particular population, where the size of the population density decreases because of mortality. Similarly, look at this immigration and emigration. Immigration adds up to the population density, and emigration, what? It reduces the size of the population. So it removes some amount of or some individuals from the population there. So you can arrive at this particular equation here. If n is the population density, see, n is the population density at time t, at the given time t, then the density at t plus 1, time t alla, t plus 1, at a time t plus 1, what will be the population density? How to calculate? We can arrive at this particular conclusion. N t plus 1, that is the population density at the time t plus 1, is equal to nt, andre time t alli estiತ್ತು population density, plus b plus I, andre birth plus natality plus immigration, birth rate plus immigration, minus d plus e. Usually for any population, if you consider the birth rate and immigration, if you hypothetically imaginationally you consider ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, so birth rate and immigration will be always considered higher when compared to mortality and immigration. And that is why we are actually, see, b plus I, so the sum of natality and immigration, that is the total number of individuals moving into this population or adding to this population density, minus m plus e. So sorry, d plus e, that is the death rate plus or mortality plus what? Emigration. So this will give us the population density at the time t1, right? So I hope you have understood this equation. So this can be an important equation. So based upon the four main processes, how the population growth actually depends upon. Now, growth models. See, when we talk about the population growth, the population will not, that means the pattern of the population growth will not be same for all the populations. So different species, they experience different environmental conditions, they are exposed to various different types of abiotic and biotic factors, and their responses to these biotic and abiotic factors will be also equally different. And based on all these things, the population growth of that particular species will have a different pattern. So ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ಗಳಿಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಗಳಿಗೂ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ವಾಟ್? ಸೊ ದ ಅಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ದ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ದೋಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್, by considering all those things, we can have mainly two different types of growth models. So population growth pattern ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಡಿನೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ we identify two types of growth models. One is exponential growth model and the other one we consider here, that is what? Logistic growth model. Anyway, so we will come back to this exponential growth model. So exponential ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? So it's also called as logistic, ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ? Logarithmic growth ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವ. So exponential growth and logistic growth. I'm sorry, see, exponential growth is one, logistic growth is the other one. So let us first study exponential growth. What happens here is in the exponential growth is when a particular population of a species experiences all the conditions which are very much favorable for the growth of the population. ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಅದರ ಸುತ್ತ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್, ಇನ್ ಅದರ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ, ಸೊ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೀಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ದೇರ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಅನ್ಲಿಮಿಟೆಡ್ಲಿ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಅ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಂಜಾಯಿಂಗ್ unlimited available of the resources, then obviously the population size grows rapidly. The growth of the population takes place rapidly, right? So it is a very simple imagination you can make. So ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, see, if you do not disturb that population at all, right? So if the mushrooms are growing in some area, mushrooms usually grow in the area where moisture is there plus some decaying matter is there. Mushrooms, you know, they are a kind of fungi belonging to the class Basidiomycetes, right? So if you observe the fungi growing there and they start establishing their colony there, that means they start increasing the number and population size goes on increasing unless they experience a disturbance. Right? If the availability of the nutrients, if the factors which are around them, if they are favorable, as long as they are favorable, the population goes on increasing. So that is what we are talking about here, right? Andre unlimited availability of the nutrients or resources illivarege irutte, population growth goes on increasing, right? So that is what, when the resources, mainly food and space are the two main resources in that habitat are available unlimitedly, each species of the population will grow to its maximum ability. Andre it will do all the activities so that it will attain the maximum size of the population. It will cause the it will grow to its maximum potential, right? So this was observed also by Darwin in his theory of natural selection. So natural selection theory ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So natural selection theory says talks about what? Survival of the fittest, right? So if an organism is able to adapt to the environmental conditions which it is getting exposed to, right? So then obviously when it is adapting to those environmental conditions means what? Those environmental conditions will become favorable to this organism and this can grow very luxuriously. So then the population grows in an exponential or geometric fashion. So geometric growth rate ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, right? You have studied about the AP and GP, arithmetic progression and geometric progression. So geometric progression ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ population here, right? So we can see this thing, equation here. If in a population, the population size, and if you consider that as n, the birth rate B and death rate D, birth rate is expressed in terms of B and death rate is D, then the increase or decrease in the n, that is the population size alli increase decrease agodu during a unit period of time, that is T consider ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, that is dn by dt. So we are talking about a simple differentiation. If you are aware of the simple or basic calculus, you will understand this. dn by dt will be is equal to b minus d. If you consider the rate of birth more than that of the death rate, that is why we consider b minus d into n, right? If you consider b minus d is equal to r ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Intrinsic rate of natural increase. ಅಂದ್ರೆ see, if you remove the death rate in the birth rate, so total birth rate ನಲ್ಲಿ death rate ಅನ್ನು remove ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, when the death rate is lesser than the birth rate, so ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? You will get the actual increase in the population size, correct? No? So that is what? Intrinsic rate of natural increase, right? That is what we refer to as R, and in this we are going to substitute this R in this equation. dn by dt is equal to, instead of b minus d, here we have considered R into n. So this is the equation that we arrive at. dn by dt is equal to R into n. Andre, so the growth of the population at a time t will be given by this particular equation, right? So the R in this equation, as I just told you, it is the intrinsic rate of natural increase and is a very important parameter chosen to assess the impacts of biotic or abiotic factors. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಬಿ ಮೈನಸ್ ಡಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆರ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಸೊ ಬರ್ತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಡೆತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಬಯೋಟಿಕ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್. It can be predation, it can be favorable condition, it can be temperature, it can be water, it can be air, anything it can be, right? So that is why it is an important factor for assessing the growth of the population, and this is completely dependent upon the biotic and abiotic factors influencing on that population. So examples, let us consider few examples for this R value. R value for Norway rat is 0.015. So this is in terms of percentage, right? Whereas floor beetle anta innondu organism ge the R value is ಎಷ್ಟು 0.12. Similarly, if you look at this one, in the year 1980, the R value of human population in India, the R value of human population in India in the year 1980 was 0.0205. So how to calculate the R value for human population in the year 2020, that is on the present day? You can calculate that by considering value of B and value of D, right? B value is, that is the per capita birth rate in the year 2020 in India is 18.2, whereas death rate is 7.3. For human population, see, human population yavaglu birth rate ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, death rate ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Once upon a time the death rate was also much higher due to so many pandemics, and then we did not have any advanced medical techniques in order to cure those diseases, etc., right? And that is why the death rate was also equally higher as the death rate. But as the advancement of the medical treatments or medical techniques have been done, so now we are seeing a drastic increase in the birth rate and drastic decrease in the death rate. So that is why you can see, so 18.2 is the birth rate, that is per 1000 people, and 7.3 is the death rate, that is per 1000 people. So if you substitute these, or if you can B minus D, so that is 18.2 minus 7.3 divided by 1000, and that is multiplied by 100 will give you 1.1. So this is the R value of human population, R value for human population presently, that is in 2020. Right? So anyway, this is just an activity that we did now, just to understand how the R value varies, so depending upon the birth rate and death rate at a given particular time. I hope you have understood what is that intrinsic rate of growth rate, or intrinsic growth of the population at a given time. So the equation, coming back to the same equation, that is dn by dt is equal to r into n, describes the exponential growth curve or geometric growth pattern. So and this growth curve, if you plot this, if you consider, so n population size and time on x-axis, time anna x-axis ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡು population size ಅನ್ನ n ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು y-axis ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡು plot ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ, so this will give you a J-shaped curve. J-shaped curve, which is also called as what? An exponential growth curve ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So and by looking at this curve, again by using the basic calculus, you can arrive at this particular equation, nt, that is again the population size or population density at time t is equal to n naught into e raised to rt. So the terms of this equation are explained here, where nt is the population density after time t or at time t, n naught is the population density at time 0. Andre, so initial population size. R is the intrinsic rate of natural increase, so that we have already discussed about the R, and E is the logarithmic base with the value 2.71828. So I hope you are all aware of this E, logarithmic base value. So this is the equation that you need to remember. These are the two equations that you need to remember, right? Then, so you can look at this graph now. So this pink colored curve that you are seeing, J-shaped curve, is nothing but the exponential growth curve. So this is the exponential growth curve. You can observe this particular equation here. You can also refer to the textbook here. dn by dt is equal to r into n. So any species growing exponentially, the population of any species growing exponentially under unlimited availability of the resources, so can reach to the enormous population in a very rapid rate. That means in a very short time. So this Darwin also showed that this is possible even for those organisms with big sizes and usually less number of offspring. Elephants usually ದೊಡ್ಡ size ಇರುತ್ತೆ, offspring produced are very less in number, but still they can increase their population size in a very short time rapidly, because availability of the resources is always unlimited in this case, right? So this is the growth curve that you need to remember. This is the first one, and this growth curve we are going to discuss here in the logistic growth. So when we discuss about the logistic growth, so one is that this kind of growth where you can see the unlimited availability of the resources, and that is why the exponential growth takes place, whereas in the logistic growth this is the other case, right, where availability of the resources is limited, right? So in most cases, usually all organisms in the nature, they will not experience, or in other words I can put it like this, so they very rarely experience the complete, what is that, they will very rarely enjoy the unlimited supply of the resources, and in most of the cases they will be having limited resource availability, and because of the availability of the limited resources, there also exists a kind of competition among the species, among the individuals of the same species, and many times they also have to compete for those available resources with the other population as well, right? So population ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದು ಮತ್ತು ಇದರ ಹಾಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇತ್ತು ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡಿಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಅವೈಲೇಬಲ್ ಲಿಮಿಟಿಂಗ್ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ದೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಅಂಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್? ಸಿ, so because of the competition, the idea or the rule of the survival of the fittest can be realized, right? Only when the competition is there, and out of this competition, ishtu competition idru kuda, right, which organism or which population will be successful enough to gain those resources in order to survive, which organisms or which population of the organisms successfully survives. So even though there are so many drawbacks, like especially with respect to the resources, so that is when we talk about the survival of the fittest as given by Darwin. So that is when it can be realized more appropriately, right? Now when a population size grow aglebeku, even though the resources are available limitedly, even though there is a limited availability of the resources, but because the resources are limited, population cannot keep on growing always, like in the case of the exponential growth. This population grows until certain stage and it will become stagnant. ಯಾಕೆ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟಟ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತಹ ನ್ಯೂಟ್ರಿಯೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ದ ಅವೈಲಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರೋದು. And that is why, that is because of that reason, what happens there? The size of the population becomes stagnant after a particular limit. And that limit of the nature, that limit of that habitat will be called as carrying capacity ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So you can just read out this definition here. Any given habitat has enough resources to support a maximum possible number of population. ಯಾವುದೇ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದರದ್ದು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಸೈಜ್ನವರೆಗೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಇರಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ limited availability, or maybe because of the competition, what happens is, so beyond which there is no further of the population growth takes place, and so this maximum limit of the growth of the population and this limit of the nature, that can be called as the carrying capacity, right? So carrying capacity will be denoted by the letter K. And usually many governments, especially in the countries of the world where the population, which are facing the population explosion problems like India, China, etc., so they impose certain restrictions, certain constrictions upon people. ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ more than 2 children, so you will not receive many of the benefits from the government. Like in China also, so they have put many restrictions there, so that if the resources are unavailable, obviously what do people do? They will reduce the reproductive rate, right? So that is how governments use this strategy. So resources availability ಇಂದ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು, this simple ecology, if you understand, that means the same strategy will be also used by the governments. So here you can see, for the population which is growing according to the pattern of logistic growth, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ logistic pattern ಅಲ್ಲಿ, so it will be having a limited availability of the resources, and it will show a growth curve which will be having first initially lag phase, slow phase, followed by acceleration phase and deceleration phase. Acceleration phase is also called as log phase. First lag phase irutte, then acceleration phase, also called as log phase, then it slowly decelerates, andre reduce agutte speed population growth du, and then it becomes stagnant. And that stagnant is called as asymptote or stationary or equilibrium state anta kariteve, right? So you can look at this graph, going back to the same graph. So this phase, see this complete curve you are seeing is nothing but what? It is the curve showing the logistic growth of the population. Lag phase anta idana identify ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. This phase will be called as the log phase. So this is the decelerating phase, and this is the stationary or asymptote anta kariತೀವಿ, right? And this curve can be, the equational form for that curve can be given in this form: a plot of n with relation to the time, again the same plot, right? So it will result in the sigmoid curve. Nodi, ಆಗಲೇ ಎಸ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಕರ್ವ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ರಿ ನೀವು. So that is what is called a sigmoid curve with lag phase, log phase and equilibrium. So for this sigmoid curve is also called as Verhulst-Perl logistic growth. This kind of pattern of the growth is also called as Verhulst-Perl logistic growth, as it was suggested by these people. Verhulst-Perl logistic growth anta kariತೀವಿ, right? And it will be denoted by dn by dt is equal to Rn of k minus n divided by k is the equation, and n, as you know, it is the population density at time t, and r is the intrinsic rate of the natural increase, and k is the carrying capacity. So one last thing about this here is, since the resources for the growth of many populations, ಯಾವುದೇ population ನೀವು generally consider ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, so for the growth of the population, the resources available are almost at all the time, they will be limited. And that is why any population, ಯಾವುದೇ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಒಂದೇ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ತುಂಬ ಬೆಳೀತಾ ಹೋದರೆ, there will be a lagging for the growth of the other populations. And in the nature, this is the theory that actually works. This is more reliable. That is why I have given here. So since the resources for the growth of the most populations are finite and they become limited sooner or later, So one or the other time the resources will become limited, and that is why logistic growth model can be more realistic. It can be more reliable, right? So this is about the different patterns of growth. Two patterns of growth. So you need to remember what the equations for both the growth models, and you need to remember this one. So carrying capacity definition is important. So these are the few things that are important about this particular concept.